Now we'll be focusing on the Gymnosperms, which means naked seed in Latin, and that the seeds are exposed to the environment, generally in a strobulus or cone. Other characteristics of Gymnosperms are pollination by wind, having separate male and female gametes, and tracheids, which are specialized xylem cells that transport water and minerals. Gymnosperms dominated the landscape in the Mesozoic era and still dominate in drier and cooler climates. Like all plants, Gymnosperms have alternation of generations, but the sporophyte generation dominates, and all Gymnosperms are heterosporous, with differing male and female cones. Conifers are the most dominant of Gymnosperms, so I will cover them as the representative life cycle for this group. Many Gymnosperm species have separate structures called cones, where Mycosporangia and Megasporangia develop. Female cones are called ovulate cones, and male cones are called staminate cones. The Mycosporangia contains a cell that divides by meiosis to form microspores, which then divide by mitosis to form pollen grains, tiny male gametophytes. Megasporangia are found inside protective structures called ovules. Megasporangia contain a mother cell that divides by meiosis to form a megaspore, which undergoes mitosis to form the female gametophyte containing egg cells. The female gametophyte stays attached to the sporophyte as pollen grains arrive and produce sperm that fertilize the eggs. Seeds mature as the embryo develops inside the seed, and cells derived from the female gametophyte become packed with nutrients provided by the sporophyte. When the seed disperses and germinates, the cycle of this lifestyle begins anew. The first of four divisions of the Gymnosperms is Coniferophyta. Conifers are the dominant phylum of Gymnosperms, and these include pines, spruces, firs, larches, cypresses, junipers, etc. All members have needle or scaly-like leaves to help prevent water loss. This also prevents snow from remaining on branches for too long. And due to these thin leaves, conifers dominate cold and dry climates. Contrary to popular belief, not all conifers are evergreen, and not all flowering trees are deciduous, meaning they drop their leaves every fall. Bald cypress, larch, and dawn redwood all drop their needle-like leaves each fall, and holly and rhododendron, which are both flowering plants, actually retain their leaves year-round. Conifer wood is often called softwood because the xylem contains tracheids only, with no vessel elements. Vessel elements makes hardwood hard, and tracheids tend to make the wood softer. This is great for paper and lumber for its flexibility. The next group is division Cycadophyta, also known as the Cycads. Cycads are a great example of convergent evolution in plants as they resemble palms, which are a flowering plant but very distantly related. Cycads have large strobili that rely on beetles for pollination rather than wind. Cycads are a popular ornamental plant in the subtropics and the tropics, and were quite dominant during the Mesozoic era. This is probably one of my favorite plant species because this division, Ginkgo contains only one species and is a relic of an age that is long past. So most of these species died out with the dinosaurs. Ginkgo Biloba was actually raised by Chinese Buddhist monks for centuries and likely saved this plant from extinction by natural selection. Perhaps it's the most easy to identify of trees because of its fan-shaped leaves, and they are deciduous in that they drop the leaves every fall. They are resistant to pollution and commonly planted in cities as an ornamental. Wild ginkgos rarely exist, which makes this species ecologically extinct, meaning they only exist because of human help. This species is dioecious. In fact, the most common sex that is planted are males because female trees produce these fleshy seeds that smell like dog. Our final division of Gymnosperms is Netapphida. And this is an odd group in that they are only Gymnosperms that produce tracheids and vessel elements. Now, vessel elements are mostly found in flowering plants. Molecular evidence places them as most closely related to the conifers, but even the three living genera are quite dissimilar to each other. So more taxonomic work is needed as this group is likely not monophyletic. Ephedra, known as Mormon tea, is found on the west coast of the United States and Mexico and contains a compound called ephedrine, which can be used as a decongestant. This should only be taken by prescription as it is classified as an amphetamine drug. Gnetums are vine-like plants that are found in Africa, South America, and Southeast Asia. Welwitschia is found in the Namibian desert of southwest Africa and grows two leaves continuously throughout their lives. Some have thought to be hundreds of years old. And like ginkgos, this group is monoecious. In our next video, we'll be getting into the flowering plants known as the angiosperms.